Welcome to this week's episode of Inside Admission at Wilmington College. I'm Jeannie Tower. Today we're going to be switching things up, and I will be hosting and we'll be interviewing
Danny Harp, Associate Director of Admission here at Wilmington College.
For the next several episodes, we're choosing to focus on academic areas of study and who serves those academic areas of study from our admission office. As some of you may know who've maybe had the chance to visit, Wilmington College and our Office of Admission chooses to assign counselor territories based off of a student's academic interests instead of their geographic region. Danny, could you share with us today what areas you cover?
Absolutely. My admission counselor responsibilities include working with students who are interested in some of our sports sciences, exercise science, pre-physical therapy. We have a master's program in athletic training, as well as a master's program that's going to be up and going come spring 22 in occupational therapy. I also work with the math, sciences, biology, chemistry areas in regard to whether getting a four-year degree in those areas or actually using those degrees in regard to making them a pre-professional degree as students may plan to go on to graduate school.
Thank you.
Theater.
Don't forget about theater. Yes,
in theater.
And Danny, you've been working at Wilmington for several years now, so you've had a lot of experience. Tell me some of the things that excite you about the programs that you cover currently and the conversations you have with families about the new and up-and-coming things within those areas of study.
Very good. I know the one thing I get most excited about, Jenny, in regard to some of the sports sciences is the fact that we are nationally recognized. And I think one of the reasons we are nationally recognized is not only our facilities, but our faculty, the partnerships that we have here locally with some of our allied health professions that our students have opportunity to job shadow, and even at the master's level, doing clinicals and rotations with. The one thing I really enjoy about the students taking advantage of our sciences in regard to pre-professionals is knowing that when I talk to a student, I can tell them that our professors are going to work with them very specifically in regard to where they're at and where they want to go, and give them the experiences academically and experientially in regard to preparing them for grad school. And then I got to give theater a shout out. Historically, Wilmington College has had some great productions here, whether it be plays, musicals. I've been a part of some of them myself. And the cool thing about our theater program here is it covers a broad spectrum of experiences. Whether you want to do lighting, sound, construction, acting, singing, whatever, a broad spectrum, which I think makes our theater students very marketable within the field that they're looking at going into.
Very good. And as I mentioned earlier, our way of assigning students to counselors is a little bit different than other schools.
It is.
What do you think is the benefit, in your opinion, having the opportunity to work with these students in the sciences or work with these students in the areas of sports sciences or our math students or our students in theater? What's the benefit to that?
I think the benefit for those areas, as well as the areas you cover, or Jesse, Steve, Heather, what have you, is the fact that we are specifically working and communicating with those faculty members, giving them the opportunity to share highlights from their programs, giving us the opportunity to really know what's going on academically within each of those academic areas. Therefore, being able to then communicate that to the students we're working with. Now, given our schedules, sometimes that doesn't always work out to meet with a student interested in that area, but all in all, we really try to get those students in front of the counselor that can speak best to the academic area. And two, I'd want our audience to know we all work with students who are undecided, because we have a lot of students that come to the mix, they just don't know what they want to do when they get to college, and that's okay.
Perfect. And if we have a student that is specifically wanting to visit the campus, perhaps to meet with you and talk about the sports sciences or math or all the other areas you cover, can you walk them through what that visit might look like and how they can go about scheduling that visit?
Absolutely. First and foremost, you can schedule a visit by either calling our Office of Admission at 937-481-2260 or going to our Wilmington College website. Under the admission piece, you can schedule a visit online. We'll be happy to accommodate that visit. You can actually request if you'd like to meet maybe with the professor, a coach. Maybe there's some specific information that you want. Make sure you include that in your visit request, and we'll do what we can to make sure that is indeed scheduled. As far as the actual visit, when you come to campus tour always with one of our student ambassadors, an actual student who is experiencing Wilmington College and campus life, You're going to get to hear from their perspective. You're going to get to meet with an admission counselor in regard to understanding the admission process. We're going to talk about the financial aid process as far as the ins and outs of what we're going to cost, scholarships are available, looking at state, federal, and institutional aid that you might qualify for. And again, like I mentioned earlier, if you want to meet with a coach, if you'd like to meet with a professor, we'll do what we can as far as making sure you have time in front of those individuals as well.
Perfect. Any last remarks about the areas that you cover or anything you'd like to share that we haven't talked about today?
Well, I think the shout out I'd want to give on behalf of the entire campus and certainly on behalf of each individual counselor is to visit. Visit, visit, visit. This is a huge decision that you're making as a college student or a soon-to-be college student. We'd love to have the opportunity to get in front of you and to talk about Wilmington College specifically as far as what we can bring to the table in regard to your college decision-making process. We know there's a lot to consider. We have a lot of great information we'd love to get into your hands.
Thank you, Danny. It was a pleasure to host today. As Danny mentioned, please visit us. We'd love to have you on campus. And as far as this conversation goes, I think that's a wrap. And until next time, this is Inside Admission at Wilmington College.
See you next week.